Nobody warns you when it starts. There's no argument, no confrontation, no dramatic falling out. One day, someone who smiled at you, who called you a friend, who sat beside you and shared your food, quietly, invisibly, without a single word, decided you were the enemy. And the terrifying part? By the time you notice, it's already too late. This is the hidden war that Machiavelli saw 500 years ago. The war that never announces itself. The war that is fought in silence, in whispers, behind closed doors, while you walk around completely unaware, still trusting people who have already moved against you. Most people never learn this lesson until the damage is done, till the opportunity vanished, until the relationship is hollow, until they are standing alone, wondering when everything changed, not realizing it changed the moment they made one specific mistake. And that mistake, they made someone feel small. It doesn't matter how unintentional it was. It doesn't matter that you meant no harm. Human beings do not forgive the moment they feel diminished. They do not forget the moment their pride was quietly crushed, not by cruelties, but by your success, your confidence, your visibility. The person who once cheered for you can become your most dangerous enemy, not because you wronged them, because you outgrew them, because simply existing at your level made them feel less at theirs. Machiavelli understood something about human nature that most philosophers were too polite to say out loud. He understood that people are not moved by logic. They are moved by pride, fear, envy, and the need to feel significant. Beneath every political betrayal, every friendship that dissolved without explanation, every colleague who smiled to your face while undercutting you behind your back, beneath all of it is the same wound. Someone felt threatened. Someone felt invisible. Someone looked at you and felt the sharp, silent sting of comparison. From that moment, the calculation begins. They don't attack you directly. That would require courage. Instead, they wait. They gather information. They plant seeds of doubt in the minds of people who respect you. They position themselves slowly, carefully, the way someone rearranges furniture in a room, so gradually that you never notice until the whole space feels wrong. They learn what you need, and they find subtle ways to pull it away. They learn who trusts you, and they find quiet ways to introduce uncertainty. This is not paranoia. This is history, repeated endlessly, in boardrooms and bedrooms, in families and friendships, in every circle of power that has ever existed. The dangerous ones are never the people who openly hate you. The dangerous ones are the people who are almost your friend, the ones who are just close enough to have access, just far enough to feel justified. They have learned to weaponize warmth. Their loyalty has an expiration date you were never told about, and it expired the moment you stopped being useful, or the moment you became threatening. Here's the hard truth most people cannot accept. The turning point rarely happens because of what you did to someone. It happens because of what you became. The moment you stopped needing their validation, something shifted in them. The moment your name was spoken with admiration, in a room where they wanted to be admired, something closed. The moment you walked in, carrying the kind of quiet confidence that cannot be faked, they felt exposed. And exposed people are dangerous people. Machiavelli would tell you this is not a flaw in human nature. It is human nature. And the man or woman who refuses to see this, who insists on believing the best, who trusts without calculation, who mistakes silence for peace, will always be surprised, always be betrayed, always wonder why. Because the world does not reward innocence, it rewards awareness. So what do you do with this knowledge? You don't become cold. You don't become paranoid. You don't start seeing enemies in every corner. That is its own kind of trap, the trap of the ruler who becomes so suspicious, he destroys the loyal along with the disloyal, and ends up truly alone. What you do is watch. You learn to read the signals that most people dismiss because they are uncomfortable to acknowledge. Watch for the person who goes quiet when you share good news. Not sad quiet, still quiet, controlled quiet. The kind of quiet where someone is arranging their face instead of feeling genuine joy for you. Watch for the person whose support always arrives when you're struggling, but disappears when you're rising. Watch for the one who asks careful questions, not to know you better, but to know your vulnerabilities. Watch for the slow withdrawal of small things, the less frequent calls, the shorter replies, the subtle renegotiation of what they owe you. These are not accidents. These are signals. And here's what Machiavelli knew that still cuts like a blade today. The moment you sense this shift, most people make the same catastrophic error. They try harder, they become warmer, more accommodating, more generous. They think that love can undo suspicion, that kindness can dissolve envy, and in doing so, they reveal everything. They reveal that they need the relationship. that they are afraid of losing it. And the person who has already turned, they see that fear, and it confirms everything. It tells them they were right to position against you because you will not fight back. Power, Machiavelli said, is not kept by being loved. It is kept by being respected. And respect does not come from chasing the people who have already decided to walk away from you in their hearts. There's a kind of grief in accepting this. There is something in us that wants to believe the relationships we built were real, that the loyalty we gave was returned, that the history we share with someone protects us from being abandoned. But history does not protect you, and loyalty given freely is not the same as loyalty earned and maintained through awareness. The most powerful thing you can do when someone begins to turn against you is this. Do not beg for what was. Do not perform desperation. Do not flood them with generosity in the hope of reversing a tide that has already shifted. Instead, become still, become unreadable. Make peace with the possibility of loss without broadcasting that peace. Because the moment someone realizes you will not collapse without them, the entire equation changes. Suddenly, you are not a target. You are a risk. And people who have turned against you in secret are, above everything else, calculating. They are measuring the cost. They are asking themselves whether moving against you is worth what it might cost them. The moment your silence and your stillness communicates that the cost might be steep, they pause, not out of love, out of caution. And in this world, caution is the closest thing to loyalty you will often get. This is the wisdom Machiavelli carried, not as cynicism, but as clarity. The world is not filled with heroes and villains. It is filled with people who want to feel safe, significant, and in control, and who will quietly rearrange their relationships to protect those feelings, regardless of what they once promised or what you once shared. You are not exempt from this. Neither am I, and neither was Machiavelli. The question is never whether people will turn. Some will. The question is whether you will be the kind of person who sees it coming, or the kind who only understands it when the damage is already written into the walls of your life. Stay aware. Stay composed. Trust slowly. And never mistake someone's silence for peace. In silence, entire wars are decided.